Most of us couldn't imagine a job with more stress. Richard Fisher, president and CEO of the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas, one of the nation's key banks, thinks it's the chance of a lifetime.
Well, first of all, I'm not responsible for all these awful things that happen. And this is a job that I truly love, and I really believe I was made for.
His father was Australian, his mother Norwegian. They met in South Africa, immigrated to this country, and born in the United States, young Richard spent part of his childhood in Mexico. He wanted to be a baseball star.
Oh gosh, I wanted to be Willie Mays, who was the greatest baseball player of my era.
But the family finances had their ups and downs, and some of Richard's childhood memories were painful ones.
Probably the most painful was going with my mother to hawk her engagement ring when we had lost everything, and remembering the pain in her of having to give up the most precious thing she had, and to never forget that hardworking people can fall in bad times. That's one of the most essential memories of my childhood. I thought I would be a naval officer. I wanted to fly. Unfortunately, and in my day at the Naval Academy, unless you had perfect vision, you couldn't fly. And one of my eyes went to 20/40. But I also had a very kindly professor there who said, "You should go to Harvard."
He did, and he went on to graduate school in England, met his wife, Nancy Collins, the daughter of a Texan, U.S. Congressman Jim Collins. He graduated with honors from Harvard in economics, read Latin American politics at Oxford, and received an MBA from Stanford, and had a family along the way. He went into business, and he found himself called into politics, first as assistant to the Secretary of the Treasury during the Carter administration, and later as deputy U.S. trade representative in the Clinton years. It was his job as trade ambassador to negotiate trade agreements with America's former enemies, Korea and Vietnam.
That was very moving for me.
That landmark agreement was signed by President George Bush. But now, as head of Dallas's Federal Reserve Bank, what is he proudest of?
Oh, I think never cutting a corner, standing on principle. It is an incredibly challenging time. Markets overshoot. Greed can run its course too far. People lose perspective, and often lose perspective of what really counts, and they get caught up with the money machine. We had markets that got out of control. We're now in the process of what I call not only a correction, but also contrition. Yes, the system will survive. The past President of the United States, the current President of the United States are working their hardest to get things in order. Hopefully Congress will be able to pull whatever they do together to get their act together. But in the end, the miracle of this country is the private sector. It's people that create products and services out of scratch. And those women and those men are the heroes. And the American hero always prevails.
And tonight, we welcome to the Dallas Business Hall of Fame our 2009 laureate, Richard Fisher.